She's really serious about that. And I can tell you that she's worried about your health. She's worried about her health. You know, we talk so much about hospitals being overwhelmed that I think we forget that this time of year for ICUs is always their busiest.
It's not sustainable. It really, truly is nonstop, and nothing that we ever, trained for in nursing school or medical school, for that matter, prepared us for what this is.
ICU nurse Danielle O'Toole warns while hospitals are inching closer to capacity, some ICUs, including the one she works at in the South Sound, is near its breaking point.
This is always our busiest time in the hospital, always is, just from regular influenza. So now with COVID-19 on top of that, we're afraid.
So concerning, our state's top health officer weighed in too.
Currently, our ICUs in our medium-sized and larger-sized hospitals are quite full, many with occupancy rates over 80%.
Patients have strokes, heart attacks, car accidents, and birthing complications. They need ICUs too.
This will stress our healthcare system to collapse if we continue at this rate.
She's pleading for all of us to heed the restrictions.
I understand that it is so devastating for it to be the holidays and to think that we're not going to be able to get together with our families, but it could kill them.
Nurse O'Toole is worried about what she calls the ripple effect. Your actions could impact someone else's life, including hers.
Every day when I go into work, I'm wondering if this is the day that I'm going to get this disease that's going to take me out.
She's seen how healthy people have died from COVID and knows this virus does not discriminate. It doesn't care who you are or what you do.
It's terrifying that this could be the end of my life at 38 years old, because I don't know, how I would fare with COVID.
Preston, tents like these here, it's one way to keep serving customers, but this cold, rainy weather is sure to keep people away. It boils down to takeout and delivery, and it could be a struggle to stay open. For at least the next 4 weeks, eating out just won't feel the same.
Came in, sat down. We feel like it's safe, but we do understand why it needs to shut down.
And for staff and management at El Camino, another round of belt tightening is on its way.
We have to reduce the hours for our front of house team, the servers, the bartenders, our food runners. Those hours have been reduced by at least half.
The general manager hopes takeout and delivery orders will carry them through the month-long ban on indoor dining. However, the Washington Hospitality Association says 100,000 restaurant and hotel jobs could be gone before Christmas.
We have a little more faith and hope that we'll weather through this a little better than the first shutdown.
Like many restaurants, El Camino has set up seating outside. The governor has guidelines about tents and other dining structures. They should be limited to 2 walls to maximize ventilation. 3 walls work if the opening is large enough for a cross breeze. Tents also have to be aired out and sanitized between parties. Restaurants are ready to try whatever it takes.
It might look a little scarier if it's going to be longer than 4 weeks, but we'll just keep adapting.
Breaking now, the Navy is helping with a massive search after reports a rogue wave capsized the Tulalip fisheries boat off Jetty Island tonight.
KOMO's Tammy Mutas is live in Everett where that search is underway. Tammy?
Mary, and right now it is still a very urgent search and rescue operation for that overturned boat. I want to show you right now what's going on here just off of the Everett Marina. You can kind of see off in the distance it is very dark. You can see those blue flashes of light. That's rescuers that are searching all throughout this area. Now let's take a look at this video. Rescuers have been searching all around this area of Jetty Island. Everett first responders are here. A Coast Guard helicopter is here. The Navy is here checking the water. First responders say that first call came in just before 9 p.m. reporting a Tulalip fisheries boat that overturned. Rescuers say the fisheries boat was trying to help another boat when it took that rogue wave. Now, rescuers say the Navy had voice contact with at least one person who was on that overturned boat. They believe at least one person is in the water, but they don't know exactly how many other people are still in the water or what's the status of that second boat that needed help. Now, obviously, it's been really rainy, really windy today, creating some very turbulent conditions. So back out here live, I know rescuers are working really hard to try to find whoever is out there and bring them back to safety. And we'll be here with the latest information. Back to you.
number.
Bail bondsman Denny Behrend begins his day.
He's being held currently on an assault investigation.
Scouring a court's calendar for potential clients.
If bail is set.
And if bail is set.
That's a big thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly why we're up here.
For a fee, he'll put up money, let's say $5,000, for a client to avoid jail immediately. A cash promise they'll appear on their court date. That's bail. We
want people to go back to court. Okay, that's what it's all about.
But he's seen a change.
An auto theft that a couple of years ago would have been a $5,000 bail will now be PR'd.
PR'd meaning personal recognizance, no bail needed.
I'm going to release you on your promise to appear at future court hearings. That means you do not have to post bail on this case.
Judges letting the accused out of jail on the defendant's sole promise they'll show up for court.
There are fewer people being held on bail because a lot of people are being PR'd.
That is correct.
It's happening more often because of COVID and jail social distancing, and of a Washington court rule known as 3.2, which states less restrictive alternatives must now come first before bail or even jail.
If you have any needs or anything else, we'll see if we can get you what you need.
In Seattle's brand new community court, there's no bail and no jail.
And everybody gets released who comes in without having to post bail.
It's where nearly anyone accused of most misdemeanor crimes, including those repeatedly arrested during the protests, can even avoid trial if they do community service first, and if they do, there's no conviction.
So you could look at community court as addressing some of the inequalities of the bail system.
And Seattle Community Court has just eliminated many discretionary fees the guilty used to pay.
It just doesn't make sense to straddle these folks who are already being punished with additional punishment that in many instances they're never ever going to be able to pay off.
Professor Harris has studied bail, fees, and fines and says they are disproportionately burdening minority and poorer communities. It says they should only be considered on the ability to pay.
So Bill Gates would pay one amount for the same offense that I would pay a different amount, but we would both be able to actually feasibly pay it. And the harm to us as a penalty, the fiscal penalty, would be felt in a similar way.
The scales of justice are supposed to be blind, but with the direction the courts are moving, if you do the crime, you may not do the time or pay the fine, unless you're wealthy.
But it is not right that some people will go free because they can afford to pay a cash bail and some people do not.
For now, Denny still has work.
You know, we're not setting the world on fire here with, making a lot of money.
For Operation Crime and Justice, I'm Matt Markovich, KOMO News.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for checking out our YouTube page. I'm meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell from the KOMO Weather Team. You can see more of our videos right here by clicking on the video links for additional news from the Seattle area and Western Washington. Oh, and don't forget to click the subscribe button below so you don't ever miss our YouTube updates.